everybody. This is Tulip.
And this is Cassidy.
Welcome to the good news, the gospel according to AMC's Preacher.
You always have to say that because it's such a mouthful that I can never... I screwed it up on our other podcast.
Well, there's a reason that I tasked myself with saying it and didn't task you with saying it.
We are on Season 3, Episode 9, Schwarzenkopf.
Schwanzkopf.
Okay, see, that's a mouthful, too.
Schwanzkopf.
Schwanzkopf.
Yep.
I don't know why they named it that, because the doctor had, like, one scene, no speaking.
I will be able to tell you, and I don't think it was the doctor's name. But I will
good.
get there.
Oh, good.
So, tell me how you rated it.
Well, so last episode, the Tom Brady, I rated it 3.75 exploding humperdoos. This episode is 3.7 free range humperdoos.
Oh, I love it. Not escaping humperdoos, but free range humperdoos.
Oh, I just loved, like, hundreds of humperdoos just wandering around into traffic.
Making funny little meep, meep, meep sounds.
I just wanted one of them to, like pull down his pants in the middle of the street or something and do something obscene.
Give it time.
Right?
There are lots of humperdoos out there now, and there's plenty of time for them to do horrid things. And
the actual ancestor of Christ might be walking around out there, unless he was the one that got splatted by the car.
I totally missed that there was one that got splatted by the car.
Oh, yeah, the overview when they were walking out of the building.
I missed that.
One of them got hit by a car, and there's just a big old blood smear.
Oh, gruesome.
Yeah, so hopefully that wasn't the Messiah, but it was one of his clones.
I wonder if there will be a way for Hairstar to weed out which humperdoo is the humperdoo he wants.
There must be. You would think they would mark the clones.
There you go.
In the event that something like this happened, because
they tattooed humperdoo.
Yeah, even in the Seventh Day, I think that was the movie, the one with Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Oh my God, it's been a long time since I've seen that movie, or maybe I read about it and didn't even actually see it.
They marked the clones so that you could tell that people were clones. But I mean, it was like under the eyelid or something crazy like
didn't
that.
See it.
Yeah, yeah. So what was your rating?
So my rating was 3.5 out of 5 pool tables and tent stakes.
Oh, that was harsh.
What, the method of rating or the number itself?
No, the tent stakes.
I know.
Because you're not supposedly that is not the actual way that they crucified people, through the palms.
Right,
because
it's through the wrists.
You couldn't be held by the palms.
Right.
The wrists, you would have the bones that would hold you.
I believe that there are even crucifixions where they would actually just tie the people because it's the pressure on the thoracic region, the pressure on the chest.
Eee.
Because it creates suffocation. Yeah.
Yeah.
What a nice conversation we're having. Blood splats and crucifixions. I read a review of this episode online earlier, and it was basically like, and the blasphemy just keeps coming, and it kind of feels that way now.
You know, I was watching some YouTube stuff, and there was I was researching our featured cast member, and the panel for Comic-Con came up for Preacher. She wasn't on it, but it came up for a search for her under YouTube. And I loved one of their, promotional posters. It says, don't watch.
Well, if you are easily offended, you probably should not.
Right? Right?
Which we're still here, so I guess we're not easily offended.
And do you want to get into that, or do you want to save that for after the numbers?
The easily offended, or the we're still here?
We're still here.
We'll get into it.
Okay.
So I do have numbers. This episode initially premiered on August 19th, And for the week of the 13th through the 19th, it was actually 26th in the 18 to 49 group.
Not bad.
Yeah, not bad. I mean, it actually made the ratings. It had 300,000 in that group on the same day, and then an additional 300,000 in that age group in Live Plus 7. So it was a 100% increase in viewership in the 18 to 29 or 18 to 49 age group.
See, that just goes to show you that half the people that watch something don't watch it the same day. So when we talk about ratings on our other podcast, Spiders, we usually do it when just the one day ratings are in, and it's really hard to judge something on that because it's like people don't watch TV live anymore. It's very rare that you actually sit down and catch an episode, Thursday night at 9 o'clock when it's on.
Yeah, I think the only stuff that I'm watching live, to be really honest, I mean, even Walking Dead, which I'm trying to watch same day, I'm not watching live because I can't make it fit into my life. The only thing I'm watching live is the news.
Right. Yeah, that's exactly where I'm at, is I try to watch Walking Dead, Sunday night, but a lot of times it's Monday night.
Yeah. And it's not lack of interest, and it's not lack of commitment to the series. It's just kind of where it fits. And the fact that we have this luxury that we can stream or DVR something.
Oh, God. Do you remember the days of having to set your VCR?
I was never very good at that.
Oh, and then there'd be a power outage, and it wouldn't record, and you'd have to run home on your lunch hour. It was all kinds of drama.
Well, so I thought exactly what you said when I saw those numbers, which is, wow, 50% of that age group did not watch it live. Or even on the same day.
Yeah.
Which I think is, I agree, it's pretty telling about how we watch television.
Right. And, I can't remember if I said this is the third or fourth highest most watched show on AMC.
Yeah, we've talked about that this is in the top 4.
And on the other podcast, Spiders, we last episode we had made mention that there's so much good TV out there, and there's stuff that you just can't even get into because it's been on so long. So Supernatural just came back for their 14th season.
Oh my God, really?
Right? They only had 1.45 million views same day. So, I mean, 300,000 for our little show isn't too bad.
Well, and overall, and it did make the top 25 overall for that week as well. It was 19th. There were a little over 900,000 views on the same day, and then there were another 860,000 views in Live Plus 7. So when I rounded the numbers, it was 1.8 million overall.
Nice.
Yeah, in Live Plus 7. So, not a juggernaut, but not terrible by any stretch. And my new rubric, which just shows you how far I've fallen, is that they beat out Dr. Pimple Popper.
Oh, finally.
That is my rubric. If you beat Dr. Pimple Popper, you're doing okay.
Right? Now we're going to have to see if they beat Alaskan Bush people on their season finale.
Oh, yeah, because I didn't look this time, so...
Yeah.
So the title, Schwanzkopf, means dickhead.
Oh!
So it's not the doctor's name.
Okay. Excellent. I can see that working in a number of circumstances on this episode.
Well, I'm totally impressed that they got away with it. That Seth Rogen and crew actually were able to name an episode so inappropriately and keep it.
So, I wonder if this airs in Germany at all. I would, on the one hand, I would highly doubt it, and on the other hand, I'd be like, yeah, I can see it.
Oh, I bet it does. Walking Dead airs in Germany.
So when Austin Powers, the spy who shagged me, came out in Europe, they had to change the shagged.
Oh, really?
I forget what they changed it to, but they had to change it to something else because of the translation over there. Because
of the colloquialism.
Right, exactly.
That's pretty
Exactly.
funny.
Yeah.
I knew it was a little vulgar, but I didn't think it was that vulgar.
Well, I think it's vulgar enough that they just don't want to put it in big letters on a building when they're showing the movie.
Makes sense. They could have
Yeah,
just put Austin Powers too.
yeah. It's like the F word, you put the little asterisk where the
Yeah.
U is. Yeah.
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 So that was the meaning, and I agree. I think it applies not just to Hairstar and not just to the jokes the visual gag with Hairstar, but it certainly applies to the behavior of various people in the episode.
And of course, that would be Hitler probably saying that.
Maybe. I mean, it makes sense, right? But then
Yeah.
Hairstar is German, and it's
Oh, that's right.
German, and
Yep.
yeah. So
Okay.
so
Oh, that's
I think it's just it is a blanket reference to Hairstar, but it certainly references other behaviors as well.
okay. So did you know what that meant because you speak German,
No,
or
no, 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 no. I did
did you
some
look it
reading
up?
today.
Okay.
Yeah, and one of the other things I found out while I was looking and kind of researching the title was that the scene with Hairstar trying on all of those wigs
Hmm.
is a direct lift from the comics.
I did see that. Yeah. Yeah. I the whole visual gag with his head is like, it's never not funny. I love how people just keep telling him.
So I've been told.
Oh.
Let's see. So I've got a little bit about our writer and a little bit about little more about our director. Actually, our director was a pretty interesting dude. Our writer we've talked about a little bit before. I don't know how to say his name. It's Gary Tisha Tieche. And we talked about him because he wrote "Gonna Hurt," which is an episode from earlier this season.
Hmm.
He has a total of 11 writing credits, and the only one, in all honesty, that I recognized was he's written for Medium before.
Ah, I just navigated to there. Yeah, Medium's the only one that I know of. Uh, Writer and producer?
Yeah, so the other thing that I thought was interesting is has been a producer on every episode of Preacher this season.
Hmm, interesting. Yeah, Medium's the only thing I know him from.
And, I can't even say that I know him from that. That was just the only thing that I recognized in the list of things that he had
Right.
written other than Preacher. So,
And Medium was a good show for
yeah.
its time.
And I think this was a reasonable job. This certainly wasn't my favorite episode of Preacher, but I think to walk in and write in a world this complex must be really challenging.
Yeah, definitely. And then to have to adapt it for the small screen.
In within that time frame and with the budget, absolutely.
Yeah.
And I do have to remind myself because I did find myself being fairly critical of this episode. They're getting a lot into one episode, and they're spending a lot of money on effects.
And that's in my good. So, yeah.
So
Yeah.
our director was a guy named Kevin Hooks. He's actually got 89 director credits, but this was his first for Preacher.
Interesting.
And he's worked on all sorts of cool stuff. So he's worked on Castle Rock. He worked on the 2018 season of X-Files. He's worked on
Agent
Agents of
Agent
S.H.I.E.L.D.
Steel.
Yep.
Yep.
Punisher, Castle, The Good Wife, which you're currently watching, right?
Yep, binging. I'm like 4 episodes from the series finale.
And Supernatural.
Ah,
And he goes all the way back to old shows like China Beach, St. Elsewhere, 21 Jump Street. So he's got quite a bit in his directing history. It looks like he's done a lot.
oh yeah. Wow. Dang. Fame. Oh my God, I loved that show.
So I kind of felt like this guy brought a lot to the table directing this episode.
Yeah. I wonder if he's going to do more of that.
This is his first and only foray so far, but he could very well be on future episodes.
One can only hope there are
Right?
future episodes.
Right. We'll talk about that.
Hmm.
So, do you want to tell us a little bit about our featured cast member?
I do, and it's actually just going to be only a little bit.
Because there's not
Because,
very much out there.
no! So, our featured cast member is Aaron Ruth, aka the Angel of Death. In the,
AKA Azrael and all of the different Obadon or something like that.
yeah,
All of the different names of the Angel of Death.
yeah. So, in the comic book, the Angel of Death is like a beefy dude. And
Oh, really?
yeah, and so now he actually he kind of looks like Satan in the show, other than he's red and the Angel of Death has wings and no horns. But I mean, he's like a beefier dude. And so now we have this androgynous female kind of playing the Angel of Death, and it kind of made me think of Tilda Swinton, Swinton,
Oh, yeah, Tilda Swinton. Yeah.
and uh, God, the one with Keanu Reeves. Ah,
I don't know.
Constantine.
I was gonna say I don't know. I haven't seen it.
Constantine. Yeah.
I can kind of visualize the makeup for Tilda Swinton in the outfit, but I haven't seen the.
She played Gabriel, which of course
Is the
kind
Angel of Death
traditionally. No. Wasn't Gabriel God's favorite? Anyway.
No, I don't think so. I thought
just,
Michael was God's favorite.
Oh, that could be it.
Yeah, you and I are totally so posing right now.
Yeah. No. So I just love when women play these roles that traditionally have gone to men, and they're kind of like they play them kind of off as androgynous looking, So I just thought that was interesting. But Aaron Ruth is beautiful.
That was one of the things that I noticed right away in some of her other, like her promotional pictures. I was like, holy cow, she's a beautiful woman, and they have made her very stark and very
sharp.
Yeah, and androgynous is a good word. They've really kind of dressed down her femininity for this role.
Yeah, definitely. So, she hasn't really been in a lot. She's been acting since on the screen since 2009.
And 2014 was her television debut. That was one of the things that I saw. So she's had like small screen stuff,
yes.
like shorts.
And I watched a couple on YouTube, and there's definitely an evolution to her acting. So she actually, believe it or not, has a Vimeo channel.
Oh,
I don't know
really?
if they call it a channel, but so she has a post from 7 years ago, a post from a year ago, and a post from 4 years ago, and then a post from a year ago, and she has a lot of the clips of the basically her acting credits, and you can definitely tell the evolution between the shorts that she was in early on in her career to the shows that she was in, to the movies that she was in, and there's definitely an evolution of her acting ability, and she gets much, much better. But yeah, so she has not been in a lot. But, of course, like everyone, she's been in an episode of Law & Order.
Right? I saw that and I was like, Law & Order SVU! Are you familiar with any of the other stuff that she's done? I mean, I've heard of Billions. I haven't watched it. I've heard of Blind Spot. I haven't watched it.
So I watched the first 2 seasons of Blind Spot, but I kind of fell out of it. Things got bumped to the higher to the list, and I just haven't watched it. Billions is on Showtime, I believe. So no, I have not watched it.
Okay.
But if anyone is super interested in like her career, there is a short from 2013, and I watched the trailer for it on YouTube. It's called Happy Hour, and it looks really dark and serious, and just there's heavy subject matter, but Juliana Moore actually narrates it. It's based on a poem. So it's super interesting. When a woman meets her boyfriend for a romantic night, a martini triggers childhood memories that threaten her ability to trust and love, based on a poem narrated by Juliana Moore.
Oh, that sounds brutal.
It is. The trailer for the movie, or the short, is a very, very dark. And the trailer was a few minutes long. The short is only 14 minutes long. I haven't found it, but I'm totally interested in going to see it because it looks really interesting. So, but her latest stuff is The Gifted.
Which I've heard is really good. I haven't seen it.
Yeah, I watched season 1 of it, but it's very meh for me, and that's really surprising because the top 2 stars in it are Stephen Moyer of HBO's True Blood fame. Yeah, he was Bill the Vampire.
Yeah.
And then Amy Acker from Angel and The Dollhouse, a bunch of Joss Whedon productions. So, I love her work. And so I was really disappointed that I just couldn't get into The Gifted. But Erin Ruth plays Evangeline Whedon, who is a lawyer for mutants' rights, and she appears as human, as a lot of mutants do in the show, but really she can change and has abilities, and I guess she has her character has a larger role overall, so we'll see if she does more than her 2 episodes credited.
I kind of got the feeling that it was a recurring role.
Yeah.
That it's more than just a couple of episodes. And certainly there's probably not a long arc for the Angel of Death, so...
No, especially where we left off. Not just the bus crash, but the Angel of Death sort of failing in her mission is not boding well.
But you've got to have an Angel of Death. I mean,
right?
I guess there could probably be promotions. I would imagine another angel or demon could get promoted, but you've got to have an Angel of Death.
Yes.
Although the old rules don't apply anymore.
No, they don't. God is gone. God is missing. So she's not super active on social media. Her Instagram links with her Twitter, so if you look at her Twitter, all the pictures you have to go to Instagram for, so just go to her Instagram. She has a great picture of her and Joseph Gilgun at a New Orleans Jazz Festival, and the caption is, one of us is clearly a vampire, the other one plays one on TV.
I like the caption, that's awesome. She has a good sense of humor.
She does, and she totally looks kind of like almost a goth girl. She's got the dark hair slicked back and sunglasses and pale skin, so I thought that was adorable. But her Instagram is just a lot of really cool pics from her life. She seems to kind of travel a lot, and she likes to take kind of pictures of odd things at odd angles, and they're visually interesting. So if you're interested in that, that's on her Instagram. She is not big into having her face on her. In fact, I think the one with Joseph Gilgun is the only one of her that's not from promotional movie stuff. Yeah, she's super funny. She's kind of quirky on Instagram. She does have one left-leaning political post.
I was going to ask you if there's a trigger warning for any of our listeners.
Just the one, and yeah. So just she has a picture of someone holding a cardboard sign of nasty women. Oh, you ain't seen nasty yet. Yeah.
So a little bit of a trigger warning.
A little bit, yeah. Let's see. She's done some stage stuff, but I mean, there is so little out there on her that I can't even tell you how old she is.
So I did find a little bit of info on the wiki for The Gifted,
I did too. I was just looking at that.
Oh, that's super funny. And I
Go ahead.
didn't see how old she was. I did see that they were saying that she did have quite a bit of credit on stage.
Yes.
And her educational background includes Ohio University School of Interdisciplinary Arts, Atlantic Theater Company, and Carnegie Mellon University. So I've certainly heard of Carnegie Mellon.
Yeah.
No slouch there.
No. And I kind of want to know what the play The Bitter Tears of Petra von Kant is.
Maybe you can find that on YouTube.
Right? It didn't come up under Aaron Ruth, but some other kind of cool stuff did. She's not very active social media. She's not very active interviews or anything like that. So I mean, I think she's going to stick around as far as being an actress, but we'll see on The Angel of Death.
I think it just depends on where the series goes.
Right.
Which, I haven't watched the last episode. It sounds like you have not either. It sounds like you were kind of waiting to get through this.
I have resisted temptation. I am a good girl.
Very, very good. You're not going to be on a bus bound for hell.
Nope.
So, what's your gospel? What's your good?
My good was the Allfather exploding. I know, I'm a 14-year-old boy, but it was funny, and it was gory, and it was super satisfying for such a horrendous villain to come to just a gory, disgusting end.
He really was revolting, wasn't he?
Oh, when they were wrestling around and his vomit bucket turned over.
Oh, that makes me kind of queasy just thinking about it. Please don't go into any great detail. I'm not kidding.
It was awful. And then him exploding, and there's entrails and everything all over the room. I could have done without the soul thing coming out of his. Yeah.
I had actually totally forgotten about that until it emerged.
Yeah. Everyone did. They were like Jesse and Herr Starr were kind of taken by surprise too. And I think I could have done without the close-up of that happening.
Right.
But the whole rest of it was great. Even when Herr Starr and Jesse were wrestling in the exploded entrails of Allfather to get to the soul first. Just that whole scene. I absolutely loved it. It was just good old-fashioned, campy, gory fun.
So that was one of the scenes that made me think they have spent a lot of money on effects. They've spent a lot of money on filming.
Me too, because the scene where he legit explodes is very realistic.
Well, and then all of the things that they have to have, all of the props and the sight gags and all of that they have to have afterwards to kind of carry that on.
Right. But honestly, the main story really took place in places that were probably pretty cheap to film in. It all pretty much took place in the Grail Industries Herr Starr's office.
Kevin's basement. Kevin's grandma's basement.
Kevin's grandma's basement. The bus to hell. And then a little bit at Angelville.
I wonder if Angelville is a real plantation.
Oh, I'm sure it's there's a location, a shooting location that, has probably been in Interview with a Vampire and 7 Years a Slave or whatever. I'm sure that's a real shooting location that has everything that, the oak-lined driveway.
I just thought about that visually, and it's very sumptuous visually, so that's kind of cool.
Yeah. So what was your gospel?
Well, my gospel was that Jesse got his soul back.
Mm-hmm.
I agree with you, I wasn't really keen on how he got his soul back or where it resided, but...
Oh, could you imagine putting that to your lips? I'm
starting to feel a little queasy again.
But Yeah, so we had talked about that where the word was failing him, and we speculated it was because his soul wasn't whole.
And now he's got the word back, too.
And it doesn't seem to be failing him now.
No, Hairstar can't wear hats anymore.
That was the greatest punishment.
And Hoover
Oh,
putting the wig on him backwards was awesome.
and I love that Hoover says that he has a lifestyle change.
Right? Did you see the kind of... It was really funny, like the gesture that Featherstone made with her head. She kind of looked at him like, ugh! And kind of made that motion with her head when he said that. It was so funny. It was very subtle.
Oh, she does have some moments where she really shines in the subtle moments. Not quite when she's singing Onward Christian Soldier, but
Oh my god, but that was so funny because she was doing it in the way that I would expect someone like that to do it. Really angry, gritted, just miserable, singing this great song about being a Christian soldier.
and she does have a decent voice. It's carried. She maintained her pitch. So. Oh, didn't we first see her as like a jazz singer or something?
Right, that's right.
That is right. So
She
of
was
course she
dressed
has a
up
good
in that
voice.
club and met Jesse
Yeah.
under those circumstances.
Wow, that seems so long ago.
In that blonde wig.
Yeah.
That was a long time ago.
Dang.
Well, so what was your Job?
So my Job, and it's always my Job. It's always mom and dad are fighting, but it's dad and dad. Cassidy and Icarius, I really, really hoped, and I knew that it wasn't going to work out, but I hoped it would because they're so cute together.
But there's no way that Cass is going to compromise his values.
I just can't believe.
Our moral compass is a 119-year-old Irish vampire.
Yeah, and he's killed people before.
But not... I don't know. I was going to say
killed
not
all
people
those...
who trusted him.
I was going to say, he killed all those dudes on the plane when we first saw him.
He did, but those were bad guys.
Yeah. Still, I'd rather have him eating humans than animals that one episode.
Right, me too.
Yeah.
Humans, bah. Who cares about humans?
That was horrendous when Tulip let that dog in there. You almost lost me. So yeah, I'm really disappointed that this storyline might come to an end.
Yeah, I think we're probably gonna not see Adam Crosdale much beyond this season.
Which in itself is a total tragedy.
It is a tragedy because he's lovely.
Like him on Instagram. So, what was your Job?
Well, so I'm appealing to the 14-year-old boy in you. I kind of feel like I'm getting tired of the sight gags and tired of the gore. I kind of feel like that ship has sailed a little bit.
Yeah, I mean it's good every once in a while, but they should be more story driven and focused on the issue. It seems to be scattered. Like we haven't seen or heard from or anyone's talked to God, in the last like 2-3 episodes.
Several episodes.
Yeah, so they kind of lose the mission. They get sidetracked too much, and it's for the sight gags. Let's explode a bus.
When the bus flipped over, I thought, oh my god, this is Fear the Walking Dead and they're exploding the truck.
Oh yeah, that's funny.
But I kind of feel like, this was an argument about Green Lantern and about Seth Rogen's handling of Green Lantern, that, basically the fanboys just got too fanboy, and I'm kind of concerned that they're doing that here.
Did Seth Rogen do Green Lantern?
I'm pretty sure.
No. It was that other superhero movie.
What
Green Hornet.
Oh, Green Hornet. You're right. I'm sorry, not Green Lantern. Green Hornet. You're right. I misspoke.
But the Green Lantern was awful.
That was Ryan
I,
Reynolds, wasn't it?
well, he started it. I don't know who directed it. Um, yeah, Seth Rogen was the Green Hornet.
Yeah, but I just kind of wonder if maybe it's just got a little too fanboy.
Yeah, and I think that's where they lose the bulk of the audience
Yeah.
because I think probably most people actually I'm going to take that back. I think that most people that are watching are fans of the comic.
I
But
think you're probably right. I mean, I think that it's it's kind of like people who initially got into Walking Dead, unlike those of us who stumbled into it, but there were some people who were like, I love this comic book. I heard they're making a series. Yeah. And I think that's probably the bulk of people who watch Preacher.
regularly, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That wasn't too bad.
What? My bad?
Yeah.
I just, it more is just kind of feeling a little burnt out on the series and kind of feeling like has the ship of the series sailed. You
Well,
know?
that kind of remains to be seen at this point still. Maybe.
If they could just tone down the gross out jokes a little bit, I might, you know.
Yeah, like I said, the exploding Allfather was great, but the soul dropping out of his rectum was a little over the line
Yeah, I agree.
for for my genteel tastes.
And again, you have the soul of a 14-year-old boy.
I do.
So, in a jar on your desk.
But I drink like a newly 21-year-old. Oh.
So tell me your revelation. What was your thing that you learned or your thing that you came away with?
So mine wasn't actually the bus crash itself. It's the fallout that's going to happen from the bus crash. So it's the whole Angel of Death, is gonna lose her captives, and so is the Saint. And I could totally see a buddy cop movie in their future. They're gonna have to team up and combine their resources to get Eugene and Hitler and Tulip back. And of course, Hitler, Tulip, and Eugene are going to be on the run. So, yeah, this should be interesting.
And will it resolve in one episode?
Dun dun dun.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know because I have been a saint and I haven't watched the next one.
Same here.
Mm-hmm. So, what was your revelation?
Well, my revelation is what you were hinting at earlier, which is that Betty Buckley's Instagram revealed Preacher is coming back on June 24th of next year. So we have a season 4.
Okay, but that's the only place that I have seen it.
I know. Have you done the Google?
I have done the Google.
Oh, you have.
I have. I have them and I haven't done it in like the last 12 hours. Maybe it's changed.
Maybe it came back on June 24th last year, and that's like the
Nope.
poster from last year.
Nope. I checked it because
Oh, God, that's too funny.
it had like a specific day, like Thursday or something, and that wouldn't match up with 2018.
Does it match up with 2019?
I don't know.
You didn't check that far.
I didn't check that far.
Okay, that's fair. I suppose if my phone were not on the charger, I could check.
I was gonna say, did you text that to me, or
I did. Yeah.
Are you sure?
I think maybe I forwarded it in Instagram, but I did send it to you.
I think you Facebook messaged it to me, didn't
I
you?
don't think I Facebook messaged it to you. That would have been too complicated. I think I forwarded it in Instagram. Either that or I took a screenshot.
Well, dang it, I cannot find it.
And
I'm
my
sure
phone is on the charger. It is not with me, so...
How could your phone not be with you?
Because it's charging.
Oh.
But,
Crazy.
so, it looks like Preacher is back on June 24th. which, let's see. I have a perpetual calendar on my computer, so let me see if I can figure out when that is going to be. June 24th is a Monday.
Okay, I can't find it on her Instagram now.
Maybe she spoke too soon.
Oh, now I'm going to have to find the screenshot of it. Oh, there it is. There it is. There it is.
Okay, I'm looking to see canceled or season 3. There's nothing about season 4.
Nope. Yeah, it just says Preacher 6/24.
So it doesn't have a specific day.
No. Doesn't even have a year.
Right, I know. That's why I sent that to you, but I assumed it was 2019. I mean, I'm assuming it's 2019.
Well, and in season 3, let's see, episode 1 did not come out on June 24th. I think that's how I figured it out. Oh, it did.
Oh! We've been trolled by Betty Buckley! So we don't know. We don't know if if Preacher's going to have a season 4. So my revelation is no revelation at all.
No wonder why I couldn't find it on the Google.
And I just looked at the Google and I couldn't find it either.
Betty Buckley trolled us.
You're going to have to Instagram her.
That's funny.
Yeah, you'll have to respond.
So, yeah, we might not be back for a 4th season.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see.
Although, I do have to say, at this late in Will They, Won't They, I'm pretty sure they're not going to cancel it. They're going to do, at least 6 episodes or something, or they'll film a whole season and they'll show 2 a night to speed it up. Yeah, I can't see them canceling it this late.
I don't think they'll do 2 a night to speed it up. I think if they film a whole season, they'll stretch it out for a whole season.
Maybe, yeah.
But I don't know. Things get canceled all the time. Stories don't finish.
Yeah.
People wander off in the zombie apocalypse and are never heard from again.
And they would have to start filming fairly soon for a release in 8 months.
Because I'm pretty sure that when we were looking at last season and having this conversation last season, that they were starting to film sometime in January to have it out for the summer.
Yeah, and I think they announced mid-October, so we should see something fairly soon. But I don't know. Nobody is talking either way. Except Betty Buckley, and she's just trolling us all.
She's just trolling you and me, because I forwarded it to you.
Oh.
I think it's funny that Grandma got me.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe Madame Logel can see the future, and it will be on June 24th, 2019.
Here's hoping.
Yep. At least to wrap it up.
But that's pretty funny. It must be from last season.
Yeah.
Ugh. Well, what else have you got? Have you got any numbers? The only number I saw was the license plate on the bus, and it was so long that I didn't write it down.
So I'm totally reaching with this number. So when they were coming up with the plan to jump out of the speeding bus, Tulip said that they were going 40 miles an hour. And then there was this little animation of the bus.
I thought the animations were really funny, by the way.
Yeah, that was cute. The mile markers went by, and the 2 that you could see very clearly, the one they ended on was the 10 went by and they ended on 11. And this is super duper reaching. So Isaiah 40:11, King James Version. He shall feed his flock like shepherds. He shall gather the lamb with his arm and carry them in his bosom. He shall gently lead those that are with young.
I have no idea how that relates.
So the only thing I can think of is gently lead those that are with the young. Like all those souls in that briefcase, I'm pretty sure that like either the god or devil is gonna want them.
Oh, you don't think Madame Langelle is going to get them?
Oh, I'm sure she will, but like God's gonna rip her open and take all of them back or something.
I thought once she ate them, they were gone, that was it.
They're in her head. They're messing with her. She had that nightmare. Where they were all...
Yeah, but she could just be having that as a nightmare and not actually because she is carrying those souls around with her.
I don't know. I would like to imagine that part of you stays, like the repercussion of stealing somebody's soul is like you still have a little bit of them in you, and you can torture them from the inside out. It's like celestial heartburn or something.
Oh, I like that. Celestial heartburn. That'll have to be a rating at some point. Maybe that can be a rating next episode when she eats all those souls.
Oh, maybe. Ugh. That's funny. So my other thing was, and the 14-year-old boy in me. That sounds awful, by the way. I should stop saying that. The All-Father, then he shall know my buttocks as few men ever have.
Oh, yeah, that was horrible.
Oh, so cringy. I mean, just the sound of it, and then also what he would intend to do with Hair Star. It just, what a way to go.
That would be a terrible way to die.
It would.
And the All-Father was ginormous. Like, I watched the scene where he was kind of crushing Jesse on that desk, and I was like, oh, dear God.
Yeah. There wasn't much of him left, so I thought it was funny when Jesse threatened to make Hair Star eat everything in this room. It's like, well, wouldn't be quite as bad as eating the entire horse.
I am totally going to have to take a Zofran before we podcast if there's any more of this exploding rectal imagery, because it's just killing me.
So, what do you think of what's going to happen with Cassidy?
I think somehow he's going to escape. I don't think we're going to lose Cass, but it's looking pretty grim at this point. He can't even sweet talk Kevin's grandma.
So, I think Kevin's grandma is going to try and call... Was her name Lisa?
Oh, right. He did plant that idea in her head.
Yeah, and she's going to realize that Cassidy's right. That none of the other people that Icarius has sent off are around.
And she will decide that he's not such a bad man after all.
Yep.
Good thought there.
Kevin's grandma to the rescue.
Dun, 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 dun.
I thought it was really nice, like his little interaction with her where, he's like, you've been so good to me, and like he just
you remind me of my old Granny B.
Yes. It was like, it was very genuine. It wasn't, I mean, of course he was trying to manipulate her so that she would, help him, but it was still very genuine.
It was pretty sweet.
Yeah.
And she was very funny, though. The way that she just kind of very sweetly told him how terrible she thought he was. Yes. They all look up to you.
Oh.
So did you notice that Tulip dropped an F-bomb?
I didn't.
I'm pretty sure that when Eugene ratted her out...
Yes! She got on the bus.
Yes.
Yep.
I was like, whoa!
It was. I don't think it was audible, was it?
Yeah, it was audible.
Okay.
You had to be paying attention, but it was audible.
Okay, maybe I need to turn my sound bar up.
Right? Which, for those who may still be listening, the one or two people who might actually be looking for this podcast, we had a good conversation with a person from the UK about Walking Dead because sometimes the sound is so hard to hear.
Yeah.
I need to watch this with my soundbar too, and I need to go back to watching it as a fan first, and then doing a rewatch as a podcaster, because I think that will make it more enjoyable.
Yeah. And that's what I do. It's really, I think I've probably only done one or two shows where I've only got a single watch in. I have to do a rewatch, especially with this show, because I'm trying to pay attention to numbers and follow the story and write down funny lines and yeah. So.
Which, by the way, Hairstar's line about, like, all of the undesirables was so funny. Did you catch that? The Danes. The hipsters, Presbyterian trade unionists, and the Danes.
That was awesome.
Yeah.
I love who he's got a beef with. Like, he's not getting a little political. He's not like, oh, brown people or people from S-hole countries. He's like the Danes.
Right. And Presbyterians.
And Presbyterians. That's awesome.
I thought that his little recap of, like, how Armageddon was going to be unleashed was really funny, too. Like, all of the people with their little skull masks over their faces.
And, like, the 1960s technology for our nuclear stuff.
Yes.
Yeah. It really took me back to the very, very first episode when we started out like a B-grade sci-fi horror. Do you remember that?
Yes, which I kind of missed that.
Yeah. Season 1 was something special.
Yeah, I agree. I definitely agree. I think that in all 3 seasons that we've watched now, because we're almost done with this season 1 really was something special.
Yeah. Yep.
They need to get Andrew Goldberg and Ian Chambliss over from Fear the Walking Dead to do a big reboot. A big kick in the butt and restart it.
Yeah, definitely. Well, we ended with Nazis.
We did. Something that I did not necessarily think that I would be celebrating.
Where the heck did they get a tank? And how the hell did they get it there so quick?
You know, Hilter has resources. What can I say?
Apparently. So, Tulip and Nazis.
I was a little distressed by that myself as well.
Yeah.
I thought, would they really be rescuing a brown woman?
Yeah. I think that maybe Hitler will vouch for her. But, I don't know. Hitler could totally turn on you at any moment.
Mm-hmm.
If she would have only just kept walking. She screwed it up again.
I read a few reviews just trying to kind of get in the mood for podcasting this episode, and one of the reviews was like, Tulip has a heart, and she'll never make that mistake again.
She totally will. So, you know?
She totally will, because she's Tulip.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, if she turned around to, I don't know who that Tulip lady is, but that's not her. And that's when Eugene saw her.
Yeah.
Like, oh. And of course, poor Eugene is just so excited to see her. He didn't mean to. He never means to.
And he has no clue what he did.
No.
Zero.
And he was so excited she was on the bus. He wasn't like, oh man, I'm sorry. You know?
Yeah.
He was just, Tulip, it's me, Eugene.
Such a surprise to see you.
I mean, I know you, like, killed people and like to fight, and you were kind of promiscuous, but things really gotten that bad.
Yeah, I didn't realize it had gotten that bad.
Oh, so funny.
Yeah.
I can't wait for Eugene and Jesse to see each other.
Is it gonna happen?
It's gotta.
I don't know. I don't know that we're gonna see a reunion of our 3 characters in one episode. I mean, Jesse's going to Grandma.
4 characters. Yeah, that's true. Jesse, Tulip, Cassidy, and Eugene.
Well, I wasn't really counting Eugene as our primary
Oh, okay.
three. But,
Yeah.
I don't really know that we'll see all of them back into the same space in the next episode.
That's really going to be heartbreaking if that's how we end the season and we don't get a season 4.
Right?
Yeah. Well,
Well, I don't have a lot more to say.
yeah, I think that's all I had.
So, until the end of the world,
Until the end of the world.
everybody have a good week, and we will get this next episode out to you as soon as we can.
Bye.
Bye.
Left his body